about some of the later examples like 27, 30, 33. So I'm going to walk you through number 30. Give you a little bit of help here. All right, so your first instinct might be to identify A, B, and C. Not going to lie, when I initially started doing this, that was my first instinct. But then something popped into my head. -4, +10, and 24 all have a common factor. They are all divisible by 2. So my first step is I'm going to divide everything by 2. And that's going to help me out a little bit here. So if I divide -4x squared by 2, I'm going to get -2x squared. If I divide 10x by 2, I'm going to get 5x. And if I divide 24 by 2, I'm going to get 12. So you see, I factored out the 2 here. That's important because eventually I'd have to simplify it if I did not do that. So first step I always recommend, see if you can find a common factor in all 3 of your terms to pull out. It'll make your problem a little bit easier to proceed with going forward. So now, don't have to deal with that too, but now I've got my quadratic. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my A, which is -2, my B, which is 5, and my C, which is 12. And now my goal is that I want to find 2 factors. Well, first of all, I have to multiply A and C. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm going to do A times C. Notice how I'm labeling everything. It helps me keep everything organized. So I'm going to do -2 times 12. And that gives me -24. And now my goal is that I want 2 factors of -24 that are going to add up to 5. Okay, so how am I going to go about doing that? I'm going to make myself a nice little T-chart. Remember, from yesterday's video, I'm looking for what I call M and N. Now I'm looking for 2 factors of -24 that'll give me an answer of +5. So I'm going to just start thinking of some factors. Your factors might come to you immediately. Mine takes a little bit of time. -2, +12. If I add those up, I get 10. That's not going to work. I'm trying to get an answer of 5. Oh, maybe if I switch the negatives up. Maybe I do 2 and -12. No, that gets me -10. That doesn't help. Let's see. I could go with 4 and -6. No, that gives me -2. So that's not going to work. Let's try another one. How about 3 and 8? I have a good feeling about this. If I go with -3 and +8, guess what? I get +5. That's the B I'm looking for up here. I got it. That's awesome. See, it takes a little bit of trial and error, but you can get there sometimes. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of work. All right, so now I've got my B. And I've also got my M. Oh, that looks ugly. Let me try that again. There we go. I got my M and I've got my N. So now we're going to make ourselves a box. So we're going to go with this box method. All right. In my first box, I want ax squared, which in this case is -2x squared. I want my M and N now. So I'm going to go with mx, which is -3x. I'm going to go with my nx, which is +8x. And then I'm going to go with my C, which is 12. All right, so now I'm going to factor horizontally as well as vertically. So I'm going to shrink this down a little bit, make some space. As you can see, it takes a lot of work for these. So if you end up doing some writing, that's not a bad thing. All right, I'm going to go horizontally first. So any common factors out of here? Well, I see an x. And I also see I can pull -1 out of here, so I could go with -1x. I'm going to go with that. And you don't even necessarily need the 1 there, so I can just go with -x if I want. I'm going to do that. -x. All right, so then let's go horizontal again. We're going to go with 8x and 12. Any common factors? Certainly is +4. I'm going to pull out +4. All right, and now I'm going to go vertically. Let's see what we can do vertically here. I'm going to go with -2x squared and 8x. What can I pull out of there? Common factor. I'm going to go with 2x. So I'm going to pull out 2x. Now for -3x and 12. What can I pull out of both of those? Got some options here. I'm going to pull out, let's see, I'm going to go with, can't go with x. I can go with 3, however. So I'm going to go with 3. And I'm going to make that, let's see, I'm going to go with -3 here. Oh, I'm going to go +3, excuse me. I'm going to go +3. And now let's see if it works. We're going to box these up. We're going to get 2x. Ugh. Now work on the stylus. I'm going to go with 2x plus 3. Then I'm going to go with -x plus 4. And let's see what happens. All right, so we are going to go with 2x times -x gives me -2x squared. I'm going to go with 2x times 4 gives me 8x. I'm going to go with 3 times -x gives me -3x. I'm going to go with 3 times 4, which gives me +12. We're going to simplify this now. We get -2x squared plus 5x plus 12. Let's see what we started with. Is that what we started with up here? It certainly is. If it checks out, then you're good. That's why you always check, guys. Always check it when you're done. I always do that. So, am I completely done? Almost. I just can't forget about that 2 I factored out at the very beginning. So this is a great example because it involves some negatives and also involves that step of factoring out at the very beginning. I always factor out at the very beginning. If not, it's something you have to do once you're done. And I'd always like to take it out first because it's a lot easier when you're dealing with smaller numbers too. So I factored out that 2 at the very beginning, got this quadratic, and then, again, went with AC, looked for M and N, used the box method here, factored out my common factors going horizontally and then vertically, and then put some parentheses around them, and I factored this quadratic expression. Hopefully this